So the maximum difference is between the highest value minus lowest value for a single criteria, and highest value of the location for flow and the lowest value of location for flow. We deduct it and get the difference between the location which are being compared. We are comparing A and B, so we will divide the value of A from the value of B from the value of A, and then take the absolute value of that operation. So here it is mentioned, the result is included into the difference between the locations column. So it is 0.5, A less than B, you see, A is 0.25, B is 0.75. So it is clear cut difference is there. So this is the difference between the locations, because A has a value of 0.25 and B has the value of 0.75. Okay, so the difference between these locations become 0.75 minus 0.25, that means 0.5. And the maximum difference of the criteria means this one. Maximum difference of the criteria means the highest difference that exists between two alternatives. So in this case, this location A and location B, the difference is very wide, the largest. So, sorry, location A and location B has the highest difference. Location A and location B, not C. Okay, so although if I do a B minus A, then it comes the positive result. But here I am doing A minus B, so this is not an issue. But the difference, maximum difference, is the difference between the lowest value of the alternative in that criteria minus the highest value of the alternative for the same location. And so here the value becomes 0.5, the maximum difference, 0.75 minus 0.25, B minus A. And B minus C is also very small, it is 0.25 only, right? So in that way, first you are detecting the difference between the location of the compared and the component, that is A and B, and always take the absolute value of the difference, not a function or not a negative values. And then find the maximum difference of the each of the criteria. So if it is each of the criteria, uh, then you just calculate the maximum difference of in the criteria also. And ultimately we have to divide the difference between the locations value minus the maximum difference of the within the criteria value. So in the criteria flow, the maximum difference becomes 0.5, and the present location has a value of, I think, has a value of 0.25 and 0.75. Deduct it, it becomes 0.5. So it is very simple. For each criteria, you have the two alternatives that you are comparing. You have to just deduct the value of the higher criteria, higher alternative minus the lower alternative with respect to magnitude, I am saying. Okay, so this difference between the locations divided by the maximum difference of within the criteria between the locations. I have already here difference between the location is, here location is A and B, difference is 0.5, 0.75 minus 0.25, and the maximum difference is also 0.75 minus 0.25 if you observe the matrix carefully. So 0.5. Now you divide the difference between the locations by maximum difference between the criteria. So this maximum difference of the criteria means maximum difference that was observed between the alternatives within one single criteria. Don't forget that. Now the what the discordant set will carry is uh, this one C by D. C is difference between the location. D is maximum difference for that criteria. C by D is nothing, no value is given, and it will become 1 actually. So 1 will be added into the value of a discordance set, or rather it is the discordance index. Okay, right? So, but when this condition b less than a doesn't hold true, then nothing to do. Here you see the second order comparison: b is less than a, b is 0.75, a is 0.25. Cannot be. B is not at all less than a, so no. Suddenly into the discordance matrix, no. Difference between the location, no requirement to calculate. Maximum difference within this criteria also we must identify. And in case of this, we are still in criteria flow. So for criteria, the maximum difference that I have already explained is 0.5. But however, difference between location doesn't include it because B is not less than A. So the condition mismatches, so everything stopped. And so 0. Maximum is 0.5, and this is mentioned as minus, nothing to. Next one is also that B is not less than C. However, C is less than B. C is 0.5, B is 0.75. Yes. So the difference between these two locations is 0.25. Correct? And maximum difference as it is, this is for the single criteria, 0.5. Now you divide 0.25 with 0.5, you get this one, 0.5. Next is no, but A is less than C, so they are also same thing, right? Difference between the locations you have to need to calculate for flow. A minus C, it is 0.25. Maximum difference for a criteria is always the single value. So for this criteria, it is 0.5. Okay, and then C by D, this one, you divide the difference between the locations with the maximum difference to get the value in the discordant set, or 0.5. Clear? So in the same way, for head also you have to calculate. Same. Financial liability you have to calculate. Okay, so these are the main pressure area. After you have done that, this discordance index matrix will be developed, and the, always remember the notation of discordance set is capital D, and the notation becomes capital small when it becomes the index. And this is how this index is prepared. We have already selected the value, right, in the earlier matrices. Here you see B is less than A. If yes, find the difference between the location, 0.25. Maximum difference between the location for the criteria of financial liability, that is 0.5. So this need to be divided from any of us. So we are doing it. 0.25 is the difference between the location that we are comparing, B less than A. 0.5 is the maximum difference between all the alternatives for a single criteria, and C by D is your result, 0.5. Similarly, you have to do it for B by C, C by B, C by A, and A by C. And accordingly, if it does hold true, the question that you're asking is all